to you. You are my God. You are my healer.
Welcome to Truth on Air. This is Pastor Edith Muchele. As always, it's a great pleasure to be back in Minnesota, just to be able to do the show again. I know it's been a while. I apologize sincerely. I've missed all of the viewers, and I can promise we'll continue this, even we will drag it down to Maryland. But this is Truth on Air with Pastor Edith Muchele. It's always a pleasure. Again, our platform is definitely to bring issues, address issues in our community, be able to promote our fellow community people that are doing something great within our community as pastors. It doesn't only have to be pastors or ministers. And if you're doing something good out there, we want to promote you. We want to be able to, put a light on what you're doing. And that is what I have to do. One of my amazing guests is doing something amazing in the community, and we're definitely going to shine a light on that. But welcome to Truth on Air. I guarantee you're going to enjoy the show, and I'm sure you're going to love my guest. We will be right back, and I will show you who my guest is today.
My faith in you, joy in you, strength in you, the hope and peace you give me every day.
Welcome back to Truth on Air. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you. Today, I have an amazing man with me who is my guest. I'm sure a lot of you know him. He go by Mr. Nice. I don't know if he's that nice, but they call him Mr. Nice. But Eugene has been doing amazing things in the community, and I'm so privileged to have him as a guest today. As you all know, he does the African Girls Rock, and today we're going to shine a light on that. I don't know about you, but I'm sure many people have always wondered why he started this and how it all came about. So today you can actually watch and we can learn together what African Girls is about. So Eugene, thank you for coming on the show. So just introduce yourself to my viewers.
You already did it. My name is Eugene. Nickname Mr. Nice. So pretty much that.
Okay. So like I said, as you all know, Eugene has been doing different things in the community. I mean, you're still doing tax.
Definitely.
All right. So he has his own business. I've known Eugene for a couple of years, and he's never stopped, just doing different things. But we want to shine a light on African Girls Rock because it's something you've been doing. This is the fourth year.
Yes.
So tell us, how did African Girls Rock start?
To me, I always believe in giving back into the youth and just to Africa as a continent as a whole. And just growing up doing the war and seeing my grandmother go through so many struggles to make sure that my little sister and I was protected. And one thing that she always said was, make sure that you give your best to the world.
Right.
And she would take her last to make sure that the next neighbors had something.
That's good.
And being that, she raised me up, and I was in a home with so many women and saw the struggle and the pain and the temptation that they went through. And I told myself that, there's something that I had to do to impact women in a positive way.
Right.
That's my way of saying thank you.
Right.
To my grandmother and to my mom for not just raising me up, but leading me in the right directions.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So at least you've heard them yourself. I mean, that must have been a lot growing up with a lot of women in the house, a lot of different attitudes and mood swings. But that's great that you're definitely giving back to the community. I was privileged to be at the first one. I've been out of state, so I haven't been able to. But I've seen you award women for different things, and it's definitely a great thing to be able to just be recognized. I'm sure a lot of us, want that recognition if you're doing something in the community. So, where do you see African Girls Rock in the next few years?
The fun thing, I think somebody asked that same question, and they said, "Where do you see African Girls Rock?" And I told myself, because the whole the model of it is, I always say, is women empowering women.
Right.
But the core value of African Girls Rock is to make sure that every child is in Africa have enough to eat.
Right. Okay.
And I believe that if we give ourselves to the land or the nation or the continent of Africa, Africa will become better. Africa will rise again. But the question is, when is it going to rise?
Right.
We have to be the driving force of that happening.
True.
So, and I want to empower people, to get up and simply say, hey, you know what? I had enough to eat. but it's a child has enough to eat in Africa. That's the question that everybody should answer, and not just look at the next person next to you, but to get up and say, I should be part of that change that's going on. So in the next, I gave myself a goal. I said by 2022, I said I want to make sure African Girls Rock is feeling nothing less than 1 million kids in Africa every single day.
That's amazing.
So that's the goal, and I pray that we will get there because we're not gonna stop. We want to make sure that the kids are fed in Africa, and we want to make sure that local things are going on, domestic abuse, that we be the driving force to tell these women that, hey, you are not alone, that we're there to help. Just rape, just a whole bunch of the core value that can empower women. That simply says, you know what, you're not alone, that we are here to help. And that's what we stand for.
Right, awesome. Yeah. So how does the voting process, because I know there's a voting process.
Yes.
So how does the whole voting process come about? I mean, actually, to go back a little bit, how do you get these contestants or these women? Are you watching them, throughout the year? Are people recommending who they think should?
Yes. So we go through a lot of vetting process to find women that are doing positive things. And sometimes, a lot of times, I can say 90% of the time, we get a nomination from the general public.
Okay.
And we do a vetting, we'll go through our vetting process, and we have a core question that we have laid out, I think it's 12, and we go through that respect is one of them, the core value of respect to play a major role in that. And also as somebody that will give themselves to the nation. Right. Somebody that's empower women, that respect women, that give to women. Right. So we go through that and we select the women that the driving force of improving positivity. Okay. And we nominate them. Like just setting awards, that's a nomination. A community activist it's not a nomination on that. We actually go through the vetting questions and we select somebody who we think fit to be the community activist. Okay. The Face of African Girls Rock is somebody that empowered women and empower the nation. So they said that thing, if you know Fatah Accord, that pretty much helped to drive is it a DED? Yeah. Yes, to make that happen for her. And then she was a driving force of that. Oh, so great. They said she would be the face of African Girls Rock to simply say that, we want to shine a light on women that are doing positive things. And one is a Lifetime Achievement Awards that pretty much, it's not a voting process. We look at you as an individual who have been doing something for a long time and impacting life along the way. Right. And we just say, thank you for doing that and to be example. That's for other people that are growing up to as well. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. It's
certainly, amazing. If you have the time, I would definitely encourage everyone to definitely support. It is an amazing thing that Eugene is doing in our community. It's not, it's something positive. He's shining a light on women. So if you're women around, America, even if you have to come from Africa, it's something that is shining a light on us. So there shouldn't be any woman that will sit back and not want to support this. This is what we need in our community. We will take a quick break and we'll be back. I got more questions for him. And if you don't know my guest is a movie star, so we have to talk about that as well. So we'll be back. Just stay tuned with us.
That's why I sing this song.
Staying tuned with us. This is Truth on Air with Pastor Edith Muchele again. If you missed us, just to recap, I have an amazing guest, Eugene, on the show today who's talking about African Girls Rock organization or award show that he started here in Minnesota, and I can agree with them. I do see this going forward in many years. It's an amazing thing. To stay with us, before I left, I was letting you guys know my guest is also a movie star. So we'll go back to African Girls Rock, and then we'll come back to the movie that he was in. If you didn't watch it, you probably do want to watch it. But so Eugene, again, thank you again for coming on. So I wanted to ask, how can we as a community help support African Girls Rock?
That's a great question, and I believe that all of us have a role and all of us can impact people's life differently.
Right.
So one of the things that I always said is we have to give. I think I speak on this a lot. I believe that we have to change our mindset on how we should give.
Right.
A lot of people don't believe in giving, and we have to give to the continent.
That's true.
And one way that you can give to African Girls Rock is to give. Right now, I think we'll be running your campaign that's simply to help feed a child a day.
Right.
And because when a friend of mine went to Liberia and he came back, he said that there's kids that leave from school, they're running between cars to sell a piece of gum for $25
Right.
LD, which is less than 10 cents in the U.S.
Wow.
So I believe that we have to give to the continent for it to become better.
That's true.
So one way that you can help is to give.
Okay.
And the second way that you can help is to give us a positive feedback, constructive
Right.
feedback,
Right.
as things that we can use to empower and uplift, other women. And another way you can give to is come and join us.
Right, of course.
And I always say that it's open, that everybody should come and join African Girls
Right.
Rock,
Right.
because we believe that everybody have a different vision.
Right.
And it's my vision today to have African Girls Rock, but you can add to it.
Right,
And
that's true.
and with mine, we can accomplish your vision too.
Right.
As whatever you have. It's African Girls Rock today, and it can be anything.
That's
It's
true.
African Girls Rock. Yeah, I mean it can go any direction how you want it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, and I like the point you stress about us coming together, because we've been known, or it's been said a lot, that Liberians don't support each other. And I don't like when people say it, because not every Liberian don't support
right.
each other. But like you said rightly, everyone have different gifts. If I don't talk with you, you wouldn't know that I work in the media.
Yeah.
So, we have to be able to come together. I may not be in the forefront, and I think that's the problem with a lot of us, is that we don't want to be in the back.
Right.
We want to be seen. People should know, who you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not the case. You can join African Girls while you can be in the back. You can be the one helping to run the slideshow. You can be the one in the back helping to do something.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's a success for something that's promoting a good thing in our community. And I've always wondered the question, I'm like, is Eugene going to take this African Girls Rock out of Minnesota? Or is it always going to be in Minnesota?
It will be. Tell you the truth, it's a brand new business, or
Right.
it's a brand new nonprofit organization, and I believe that you got to have the ground root laid out first before you want
Right.
to travel somewhere else.
True.
So African Girls Rock will be in different states. We will have the award in different states. I think this year is the 4th annual. After this, we actually have a meeting that the goal is to make sure that African Girls Rock have at least 3 to 4 representatives in different states.
Different states, okay.
And the goal is to be able to create a fundraising platform and to help mobilize mothers,
Right.
get their kids ready for school.
Right.
Which buying books for them, and just getting them ready for school. And the last thing that we want to do is to make sure that we have a African Girls Rock summer camp.
Okay.
That all the various places that we can partner with different camps, and we take the youth there,
Right.
just for the summertime, and then maybe August, before they go back to school, the various states, everybody meet one place and just celebrate, the richness of being African.
Right.
Because I believe that we forget to become African.
That's true.
And when we leave Africa and go to a different nation, we
Yeah.
forget that
That.
Africa still lives within us.
That's
But
right.
But we forget that core value as, hey, there's good things about Africa.
Right.
And there's good things about whatever you at.
Right.
Don't change your African value.
Right.
Whatever that's good, you uplift it.
That's true.
Whatever that's not bad, you take whatever you
take-
have learned
that's
to make
true,
it
to
better.
make it better.
But if we just forget about our African values, then we will never get where we want to get at,
That's
because
true.
you can't never forget about who you are.
That's true.
You forget that, and then you don't have an identity.
That's true.
And
I
so,
mean,
yeah.
you couldn't have said any better, and I know it's not church, but that's a word for someone because, and it's true, a lot of us, we become too comfortable where we are till we forget, and honestly, to be very honest, and like I always said on Truth on Air, we keep it 100% real. But I can practically say I grew up here. So having to go back on my first mission trip was when I really realized, wow, I've abandoned a whole country or whole nation that whatever skills I'm utilizing in America, I can utilize that skill here.
Right.
A lot of times we come here and maybe you don't have family back home, but doesn't mean you can't help somebody else that is back home. So not until my husband and I lost our daughter, going back to Liberia, seeing children not coming to school because they don't have books, not coming to school because they're hungry, or just different things that were going on, and it moved our heart to open a library where we can provide school supplies for kids. And as much as it had to, I sat down, I said, it shouldn't have taken the death of my daughter to understand that we need to give back. It should be something that because there are Liberians here who are well educated. There are Africans here who are nurses. Some of them are going to school. You can take that degree and you can help somebody. So it's an amazing thing that Eugene is doing, and please let us support. Don't sit back and criticize. Even if you want to do that, come to him, let him know, I saw your show last year, this and this and this and this. And I'm sure Eugene's not going to, tell you to get out his face. But let us, not just sit back and criticize, but let us be able to support. This is for us, especially the women. The men may not want to support, but for every woman that is watching, you should be able to step up and say, let me do something to help, because this is called African Girls Rock. Just how we will sit down and watch Black Girls Rock on BET, let us be able to buy our tickets to go to African Girls Rock that is supporting us African. So on another note, like I said, my guest is also an actor. If you haven't seen Friend Request, that was done by Martier, you definitely want, and shout out to her again as another woman that is doing an amazing job producing. The movie was actually amazing. I actually sat down and I watched the movie and I'm like, wow, this is really good. I like it because it was different.
Yeah.
It was not one of those movies you can actually predict what is actually going to happen. Because honestly, let's be real, I've watched African movies, and in the first 5 minutes, I already know how the movie's going to end. But this was amazing. It's called Friend Request. So how did you come about with that role?
First of all, I would just say, when God favor you,
Right.
you'll be always in a better position.
Right.
And she wrote a script, and she called me. She said, hey, I got this role that I think that you'll be good at playing.
Okay.
And I told her, I say, whatever you say,
Right.
I'll come, and and the cast was great.
That's good.
Just the professionalism of she and her husband was phenomenal, and just the teamwork, the core value of, and I believe that I always preach on respect, because I believe that when you give respect, you'll get one in return.
Right.
And sometimes when somebody do disrespect you, you can still, manage to, not disrespect them. But on set, everything, was just natural.
Wow.
And the shooting was good. She and her husband was great. The directing was great. The cast member was great. And to tell you the truth, we did not really think that movie was going to be as big as how it's gotten. So in the feedback that I have gotten, and I know she has gotten, and I think there's going to be more to come, and that will be up to them.
Right.
I was just an actor, and I hope, whatever role that she has or how she gonna create the script, I just hope that they can keep in mind what they're doing so as well.
That's good. I was watching the movie, and when it ended, I'm like, they can't end this movie like this. There has to be a part 2. We have to find out what happened.
Yeah.
It really encourages us, as we're all saying here over and over again, is we have to support one another.
Yeah.
The movie, a lot of us pay money to go to movie theaters to watch these big on-screen movies. We can do the same for our own. Martia is Liberian. Her husband, I believe, is Liberian.
Yeah.
It is going to take the Liberian or the African community to be able to let this movie rise to another level.
Definitely.
This is a movie that can actually be in a movie theater. But since it hasn't gotten there yet, let us support what she and her cast is doing. I mean, it's an amazing movie, I can guarantee you. I usually watch African movies in between, and sometimes I start it, I'm like, oh, I already know how this is going to end, so I go to the next one. But, you know, after watching that, I'm like, oh, I've been sitting here this long watching this movie. So it's amazing. It's a great cast, like Eugene said. It was amazing. He did an amazing job in it, and, you know, it was just fun being able to see someone you know, on screen. I'm like, oh, I know Eugene. But, you know, it was definitely amazing. But we'll take a break, and then we'll be right back. Just stay tuned with us again, and we will get you all of the information for African Girls Rock. We'll be right back.
You put a brand new song in my heart, yeah, and you gave me a reason to love. So I lift my voice, you praise, and I give you the glory for all you've done. I lift my voice, lift my hands, rejoice, rejoice. I give you the glory for all you've done. My voice, you praise, my hands, I give you the glory for all you've done, for all you've done, for all you've done, for all you've done. For your love, for your grace, for your peace, oh Lord, for your kindness towards me. So I give you praise, and I lift my hands, I rejoice. I give you the glory for all you've done. My voice, you praise, and I rejoice. I give you the glory for all you've
Just bring to the beat. We play. It's all about G.O.D.
Thank you again so much for staying tuned with Truth on Air with Pastor Edith Muchele. I have to say I really appreciate you all watching, and I always like to recap what we've been talking about. I have Eugene on set with me today, and we've been talking about the African Girls Rock. We've been talking about the movie he is in, or what's in Friend Request, and we're still waiting for the part 2. But to go back to African Girls Rock, just tell us when is it, what's the dates, and just tell us what's African Girls Rock.
So African Girls Rock, this year will be held May 19, and we have a welcome party, you know, meet and greet. People that come from out of state, different places. So we just want to welcome them. That will be May the 18th, and we have, last but not least, May 19th. May 19th is the main event.
Right.
Red carpet start at 5. We want everybody to come on the red carpet and, you know, mingle, take pictures. And we actually want everybody to come to the show to see what the show is about.
Right.
You know, because I want everybody to come and see all these powerful women that uplifting one another.
Right.
I want people to come and actually, you know, hear that speech, and that story. Because through that, it can empower you to become somebody better.
Right.
If you had a doubt about your life, about things that you can do, it might empower you. It might give you that motivation to move forward.
Right.
So I believe that they should come to the show. And Sunday, we have a barbecue.
Okay.
I simply say thank you for joining African Girls Rock and, you know, celebrate with us and and I'm going to Africa after that.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's amazing. Well, you've heard it from Eugene yourself. African Girls Rock is May 19. We are asking everyone. I'm joining him to ask you to support. This is going to be amazing. I've been to one of it, and the only reason I haven't been to the other two is because I've been out of state. But it is an amazing show. Some of us like to dress up. Hey, that's an opportunity for you to go buy a nice dress and just, show up. Just, be able to support. Contact Eugene. He's on Facebook. Contact him how you can help. We have to be able to support one another. That is the only way we are going to grow. That is the only way our community is going to grow. Because when you go out of state and you hear about African Girls Rock, let it not be something negative. Whether or not, the speakers didn't work, I'm just giving an example. But that's not something to capitalize on, just one thing that did not work. Let us learn in our community to be able to support one another. Like I said, Eugene is doing an amazing thing. He also does tax. I mean, he wears many hats. I don't know how he does it with his little one, but he wears many hats. And that is something that we should acknowledge. That is something that honestly, I think you should get the Lifetime Achievement Award because you're doing such an amazing job in our community. Being able to acknowledge women is an amazing thing. For a while there, it didn't happen. And for you to come up with that, I mean, I'm thankful as a woman to you, for what you're doing for us. And I say us because I'm a part of it. Right. We definitely, and whenever you decide to come to Maryland, hit me up. We definitely will love to have African Girls Rock in Maryland, and how I can help. Please let us know. We can get the word out there, and we definitely can support. But as we come to a close, do you have any last minute, anything else you want to share with us?
I would just simply say that we, as African, we have a job to do.
Right.
And it is not up to anybody else to do it for us.
Right.
We have to do it ourselves.
That's true.
It's about time that we can't rely on the Red Cross or
Right.
the NGO or everybody else to feed our kids.
That's true.
Because there's nobody can feed your kids like you do.
Right.
And we know what can make them stronger. We know what they should be put in their body. So I believe that we as African, we have to choose as what goes to Africa.
That's true.
And we have to be the one to feed our kids. And we have to go to the villages because we have nurses.
Right.
We have doctors. We have the smartest people that can be in the forefront to make sure that the generation, the kids that are growing up, can simply say that, I'm not alone, that there's people that's fighting for me, so I'm going to fight with them.
Right.
But if we don't do that, then pretty much that means that we will have other people to determine to the kids that, hey, you see, they don't care about you.
Right.
We do, and they're going to brainwash them.
Right.
So before we get our, I don't blame our parents for not knowing what
Right.
it is now, but I will blame us
That's true.
for not making a change.
That's true.
And I believe that it's never too late to step up to the plate and say that I want change and I want positive change. How can I start?
Right.
And when you start saying those things, and you will see that you will start stepping into the right direction and make a positive change. So, like I said, our job is not done. It's just starting.
That's true.
And I believe that we will do a better job. But we need everybody to join force with us, and let's unite and come together and do something that will, rise Mama Africa once again.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, you've heard it from him himself. We still have a job to do, and I can agree with that 100%, that we definitely have a job to do. Please come and support. Don't worry about the money's not going to Eugene, and I don't think Eugene's riding around here in a 2020 truck. The money is going to feeding our children, and I would say our children because it's Africa. It is our children. It is our responsibility. So for him to be helping, let us all join hands to be able to feed. A lot of us have the same story. We grew up with nothing. Some of us had to find food to eat. Some of us had to go to school and sell to be able to have life. So since you are in that position where you can help someone, let us help someone. You may never know what these kids will grow up to be. And you can be that driving force that they can recognize and say, Eugene helped me, Marty helped me, Veronica helped me. Somebody helped me to get to where I am today. So as we close our show, it's always a pleasure, you know, having you watch us. If you weren't watching us, we wouldn't be successful. So please definitely stay tuned with us. We have many more exciting shows to come. But again, support African Girls Rock May 19th. Thank you for watching.